Silencer has been played a lot in the past. It allows the Sand King to burrow strike into Epi reliably instead of having to Epi blink burrow. Because the moment you get the burrow strike, you're just global. And if the enemy team has no BKBs, they actually have absolutely no counterplay for the incoming epicenter. So looking forward to seeing that. As far as Vici goes, definitely comfort zone for them getting the anti-mage for Hao. My main concern for them, though, is how much are they going to get out of their support duo? It is a Wyvern together with Disruptor. I feel like this combo is fairly weak when it comes to early rotations, and CTY might have a really good mid lane.
RT coming out on the top lane. He's going to be spotted out here by Hao as Hao heads back up. So another RTK's about. RTK didn't actually take a ward out with him onto this top lane. So nothing going down here on this off lane for him. Now just eyeing him up. And towards the mid lane, of course, you've got Super and Femridge hanging around. They're going to look to contest this top room. It's just DDC here. DDC, of course, this time going to be on the Silence, and Lanham will be on the Rubik for this game for EHOME. So we'll see what they're going to be able to pull out of the bag. At the same time, the fact that the Gyrocopter now, of course, changing hands. It's going to be YJ getting the Gyro here for his side. And the fact that they're running this anti-mage. So the Hao anti-mage is this... I mean, well, looking at the fact that they've already got some, well, 3 fairly high intelligence heroes with the Rubik, the Silencer, and the Storm. I can't help but feel that once there's that point where the aim's got his mansion, he's going to be very hard to kill. This is going to be a great game for the anti-mage.
Yeah, he has multiple choices. I don't think they would have picked it if it wasn't for the Storm. Yep. He is absolutely the main target. But in a lot of situations, you can't fight the Storm, or another hero has way lower mana than the Storm, and you just go for a secondary target, and it can have a really major impact on the teamfight too. So I'm definitely in agreement with that. As far as when Hao starts being scary in teamfights, I'm not sure the Manta is going to cut it. I think he might have to get even more than that, because in my opinion, EHOME has some pretty decent counterpicks to the anti-mage here. When he commits in, even if he Mantas, there's the counterplay with the Global Silence. There's, of course, the Burrow Strike.
He's got to be so careful in his middle lane. That was just one hit from Femra, and then the dagger from the Quap, the Arctic Man, of course, doing a lot against this very squishy Silencer. And on the top lane, going to land by an RTK here. RTK going to head back. Thunderstrike bringing him low. Won't quite be able to find the kill, but forcing SK back. He's got a salve, so he's going to be all right. But nonetheless, creating a lot of space here for Hao, FY. And of course, in the jungle, Femra just starting to make the stacks as well for the team, so to keep them in the game. Mid lane, we're seeing CTY. Pretty well 3-for-1, 4-for-1 at the moment. Lanham harassing back iceiceice. We'll see how well he's able to carry off this Tusk off lane. Of course, one of the heroes he is most known for, so looking forward to see what iceiceice is able to achieve with the Tusk this game. Back in the mid lane, DDC is going to be hanging around with CTY, just trying to be as annoying as he can to Super to ensure that CTY can have a good start in this lane and get his way towards level 6 without the Queen being able to find a solo pickoff.
Fenrir was looking to maybe fly across. This is a very classic way of ganking the mid lane when you're on the Dire and have a Wyvern. You can fly over the edge from the left, but didn't really dare to go for it. He knows DDC is on backup there, and even if he wasn't, it's probably too difficult for Super with this low of a health pool to engage on that kill. So they're not going to do it. Maybe now they could consider trying again, though.
Oh, here comes your snowball. iceiceice just onto DDC, but both DDC and Lanham are here. They're going to try and go for it here. DDC with the Glaze. Don't want to count that little bit of 8 pure damage adding up. iceiceice getting low. Will just be able to get himself back over to his own side of the map. So he's going to be all right. Mid lane, a bit of a dive going in onto the CTY there. He's got a salve here. Is he going to need to use it? It's going to bring him low these ticks. I think he's going to go down to about 3 HP or so, or 6 HP. Very, very lucky there, CTY, playing on the edge. But the salve's going to put him back into good shape. And he's only 50 gold away from that bottle now, so very fortunate that that didn't quite bring him over the edge there, that poison.
Yeah, and he's going to be perfectly fine now. Super doesn't have too much mana to pressure him with, and he's also doing fine on CS. He's actually out farming Super as it looks right now. They're even, but there's a full creep wave coming in here for CTY. Let's see if he gets any of it. So far, 0 for 2.
Yeah, DDC on the Silencer hanging around mid has definitely helped out CTY get this bit of an advantage. And looking at the 2 carries at the moment, it's Hao with a slight edge, 17 for 5, up against the Gyros 13 for 6. Hao really been undisturbed entirely by the Sand King. RTK not able to do that much to slow down Hao's farm. And we just see RTK, of course, look for that rotation towards mid as well. So this anti-mage is going to get a lot of space this end.
Yeah, that stat is slightly worrying though. He's 0-3 in this patch with anti-mage. But they're still going to pick it, obviously, if it's a good pick. Games are way more complicated than that. That's obviously in previous games they've picked, they have been close. And Hao has been performing pretty well. There were some questionable plays on his anti-mage, I think, earlier in the tournament, but I feel like Vici Gaming have stepped up their game since then. And will be able to put on a good performance. And they have yet to lose a game at the main event. Let's keep it in mind. They're currently 4-0. They won their first dangerous match against Na'Vi. They were up 1-0 in this series. And before that, they 2-0'd MVP Phoenix.
I think they actually had 2 series before this one after the Na'Vi one.
So they're 5-0.
Yeah, they 2-0'd C9 and
oh,
they
you're
2-0'd
right.
Phoenix.
Yeah, they're 5-0 at the moment.
They're on a really big run here, VG. It's a great
correct.
win streak to have, especially at somewhere like the International. Vici Gaming are certainly looking very, very much on form. And of course looking to take this game, which will indeed knock EHOME back out, and Vici will be able to move on to the next stage of the tournament.
So they're 6-0.
If they win this one.
Well, they're 6-0 right now.
They're the 6-0 right now. That's right. So looking to make it 7-0.
Yeah. Wow, that's a really impressive feat, showing why they got far last year. A lot of very experienced players are playing on the main stage, and that's of course something you can't underestimate when it comes to tournaments like this, is having the right mentality. When the games really matter. You can have a bad group stage, but if you could pull it together at the main event, that's infinitely better than vice versa.
Nicely done there by Fenrir, de-warding that wall from DDC straight away. CTY just taking the stack here with ROTK. It's going to put him continue just on level and just a little bit above the Quap now. Quap's finding the space now mid, as there's not really been sent there to soak up the XP on the side of EHOME. So Queen now 23 for 2, Super closing in on that level 6. How are we doing on the offlane? How's iceiceice doing? He's returned down there, hasn't really looked for anything else since that rotation to mid. Sitting on level 4 at the moment in comparison to ROTK. Just a slight little bit of a lead here for this offlane Tusk. Still very close across the map, still 5.5 minutes in yet. No first blood. Both teams playing very, very carefully here. Yet to see anyone really go aggressive at this moment in time.
And this is definitely favoring the side of VG. Hao is just finding more farm, and he's also the more fragile hero in the early game, you could say, where if aggression is put on, it's scarier for the anti-mage than it is for the gyro. So for Hao to just be able to free farm, they're trading with the Quap as well. They have a really good counter pick for the Storm in this game, which in previous games, the Storm Spirits have been able to run rampant because they haven't been counter-picked very well, and it's just very snowbally in nature. Oh, yeah, they might be able to glimpse RTK here. Maybe, no.
Yeah, they've got him. They've got him. They're going to glimpse him back. And RTK is out of mana. They're going to try and chase this one down. And now it's not quite enough. And now with the TP coming in fact. And it was with the gyro. He does cancel it in the end. But just there to scare them off and save ROTK.
Of course, it looks like Hao is hitting RTK really hard, but the moment he runs out of mana, he has a lot of armor. 7 armor with the Tranquil Boots. Well, Hao doesn't do the mana break damage after that, so he is going to live. And still putting on the pressure in that lane once again. Absolutely worth it. The panelists talked about how it's important for EHOME that RTK gets off to a good start. This is average, I would say, with the lane he's up against. He hasn't died. He has 9 CS minute 7. It is very difficult to play Sand King against this kind of lane. His RTK is doing all right, but of course he would like to be getting a little bit more than this.
Oh, and straight away there with the Sandstorm, just to avoid the glimpse back to base, indeed, yeah. RTK playing it careful. Continue to just see what he can find from this lane. iceiceice there with the bit of a creep block to the side here, trying to slow down the momentum of this lane, get it back under control under his tower. Nicely done, and back in the mid, CTY 36 for 4. Up against, of course, Super on the court, 36 for 8. Very close between these two. And Super's got a nice stack here too. Put the Quap in a very, very good position, but the double damage as well. Be able to clean this on his own bottom lane. They tried to go on to iceiceice, but a TP coming in. And now with a glimpse, actually bringing back Lanham. Lanham's in a lot of trouble. This could be your first turn. It looks like it certainly will be there. FY with a very nice rotation to the bottom lane to pick that one off for the team.
And FY finding early levels in this and a bit of success here is really, really useful for Vici Gaming. He's closing in on level 6 at minute 8. Disruptor, generally a hero we don't see finding an early ultimate, but in this game it's so valuable. It's a great way for them to gank out the Storm Spirit together with Anti-Mage or even without him. Just the Queen of Pain plus a Static Storm should be able to kill him for full health. The defensive supports on EHOME aren't really ready yet. The Silencer's level 4, no global. Rubik is level 3. So Vici Gaming off to a good start. Their game plan is being followed along nicely here. 1,000 gold advantage. Solid farm on Anti-Mage as mentioned. And I'm imagining we'll see FY keeping on rotating, and we'll have a little more static play from Fenrir around the mid lane here, trying to get some experience in keeping the Queen of Pain safe. while iceiceice claims his level 6 bottom, and then they might get a lot more active.
Top lane. Eyeing up how CTY has come in with a rotation. If they can find the anti-bait, it's going to be pretty big. Moving in now with the vortex onto How, but How, he's going to be able to blink away there. At one point in his spell shield helping him out. He's going to salve himself back up, and at the end of the day, the rotation there for CTY. We have to find this camp here.
I'm surprised they even tried. That was a 0% play, I think, for them to go for that kill. It's just a big waste of time for the Storm and Sand King. It's mid lane. They're going to force out a TP. This is probably going to be a deny on DDC.
He's going to, yeah, they get the deny there. And YJ moving in, trying to look for more with the Rocket Barrage onto Femre. Femre is going to pop that, but that's not going to help you against the magical damage of the Rocket Barrage, son. He will go down. And EHOME do claim themselves the first kill. Oh, he's getting ball back though. Super and everyone looking to make a pay. Oh, Super's got to be careful though. Actually not brought down the gyro. He's going to be alright now. CTY's up again, looking for a fight. Oh, the blink for the mana void for How. Perfectly the kill. CTY will be able to zip himself away. Did find the pickup onto FY, but the fact that How was able to come in and get that kill onto YJ on the gyrocopter makes it very beneficial here for the side of Vici.
This is going to be a very early battle period at this rate. He's got 75 CS minute 10. He's now got a kill on an enemy carry, which gave him another 425 gold. Could be looking at like at 13 perhaps treads battle period, which is exceptionally early. And of course, if you remember back at the good old timings we used to see for battle furies, you can't get it that fast anymore. Creeps give less gold. You also have to get the Quelling Blade into the battle fury. Sometimes I believe in the past would actually see Burning, for example, buying up the battle fury before Quelling Blade, just farming very stably without it. It takes a little bit more.
Back out, he says, oh, okay, we don't want to fight this one. Has used all his mana. iceiceice trying to close it down.
Radiant's middle tower
YJ now TPing as well, so it's going to be a bit harder for VG to look for a fight here. Now, it looks like they're playing a bit safe, and yeah, they're going to leave this lane, heading up the river. Going to look elsewhere, top lane. FY just trying to find levels along.
He has Dust on FY. If they want to try for this.
They might do so with How coming in. They can get a glimpse.
This.
Yes, they've got the glimpse here. And they're going to trap him up as well. RTK's out. Mana going to live for the TP though, and they can't. Oh, the Mana Void's there. The Mana Void's there. How will find the kill. And again, nicely executed there by the side of VG.
Remember when I said 13-minute battle?
It's going to be very, very close to that. Maybe even sooner. 1800 gold on top of the Perseverance.
I think it might be 12-minute battle fury. Oh, he missed a CS.
The dream is over.
They lost.
Bottom lane, what's going on here? Adam and Super. Oh! Very nice sonic wave there from the Quap. Nicely caught on the edge. And 5 for 2. VG starting to break away, and as just says, yeah, the fact that you're looking at How he's reaching 6k net worth. YJ, he's only reaching 4, so already 11 minutes in, there's a 2k net worth difference, and the fact that How is going to get that this ridiculously good timing here on the Battle Fury on top of his treads means that difference is just going to get bigger and bigger, and it's going to be very hard for YJ to keep up in terms of farm.
It's impossible, actually. Even with some good ancient stacks. Gyro can farm really fast, but it can't farm as fast as an Anti-Mage. The good news for EHOME is that he might not have to keep up completely, but he definitely needs to keep the gap at about these 2,000 if he can, or Anti-Mage will be able to take over the game. And it's not just the Anti-Mage who's having a good game. That's the problem here for the Radiant, of course. EHOME. Super, already 60 CS as well, has a kill to boot. The Disruptor of FY has been doing a good job finding ganks. And even the Tusk of iceiceice in the offlane has not died. He's level 7 with Arcanes. With all the utility they're looking for to be able to 4 on 5. Like ideally they like how to farm as much as possible, and then should it be necessary,
this is his battle fury done. Just 50 gold to go, and you're right, it's before the 13-minute mark. I'm sure there's going to be some impressive stat on that.
I think this is the fastest treads battle fury this patch, at least this event.
It's got to be up there.
Because you remember the good old timings of battle furies that were really early. I think some of the earliest we've seen from Burning has been like minute 9, but that was with brown boots and without a poor man shield.
Before the change, yeah.
And before the creep changes. So this is exceptionally early. He gets it at 12:59.
Oh, and YJ coming into the jungle here. They did have the ward here, but I think he might have just blinked around it. They're not going to head that way. They're actually heading towards the top. They do have CTY in lane with the Storm as well, so maybe they just want to look for a potentially easier pick-off here onto FY, but FY with level 6 has the Static Storm as well. And looks like the Rubik and the Gyro just going to walk around the jungle here with Anam and YJ. Just going to block it up as well, trying to slow down. They've seen that he's had this ridiculously good timing here with the Battle Fury, and they don't want his farm to get out of control. So they're going to do what they can here to disrupt it. Moving towards the mid lane, maybe going to look for a wraparound here onto Fenrir. They realize that he's pretty much out of mana, and here we go. Telekinesis Rocket Barrage, Fenrir in a lot of trouble here. Nothing that he can do, and EHOME find themselves the kill onto Wyvern.
At the same time, the Storm Spirit is split pushing top. This is very good for EHOME that they get to put a bit of pressure, but of course, they give a lot of information away with that gank and showing Storm, so Hal feels confident going to hit the tower bottom lane. Of course, he hits really hard right now. He's got 150 damage already, but at 14 because of his farm.
Global silence shoes because top lane. FY nearly killing CTY. CTY can't quite turn it around here, but he's going to be able to keep himself alive. Mid lane, they'll find the tier 1. At the same time, indeed, that Hal does find the tier 1 for his own team. Takes down the bottom lane and continues his farm here. Now level 11 here on the bounty. Sorry, what the anti-mage?
Bounty mage?
Bounty mage. Pretty much for the amount of farm he's going to be getting at this rate. 14 minutes in. And,
so, very impressive from FY that he's able to force out the global silence on his own, almost soloing out the Storm. When your support can do that minute 14, you're in a very good position. Now, important item to note, the Sand King has managed to grab himself a Blink Dagger. Now, he does not have Epicenter yet, because he's gone for the greedy early build you can with, or well, technically you could get caustic.
Be careful as well there. There's the full 5-man here of VG. He's still in the fog of war. Hal moving forward, trying to get some damage onto the tower. Adam's there as well. Actually jumped in onto Hal, but the entire team of VG's here. Out comes the snowball. Dragging onto CT1, onto Lam as well. The other comes out there for the core. Hal's already found the kill onto Ruby, and he's going to look for more now. Actually backing themselves off from his EHOME coming with the rotation. They find iceiceice. They'll get that Fenrir. Will go down as well. Can't embrace it. Isn't going to save him. And EHOME there with the defense, taking down 2. They're using the Rubik, and they keep their tier 2 alive here on the bottom lane. Yeah,
it looked like a good snowball for iceiceice, and he had to do it, else Hal would have probably been killed off there by the Storm Spirit. So good save, but it gets himself into a horrible position. It's easy for Hal to get out of that one, but Tusk not so lucky to have a blink yet. And the Wyvern from Fenrir just a little bit out of position. Went for the Winter's Curse, seemed to get a little bit greedy for the fight behind the tower. That was a very unlikely full team fight breakout for Vici Gaming. They got to pay a little bit.
Super at the moment, he's trying to find his way towards that. Orchid has the first ability live-in staff and 1100 on top as well. RTK waiting in the wings though. Rubik's moving up the lane as well now. They can try and catch the pop out. They're going to try for it. Oh, Super blinks away. He looks for the play. RTK is not going to find it, unfortunately, though, this time. How long did Yasha?
This is going to keep going faster and faster. Now, the Gyro was involved in that last fight. He's now 3k behind.
There you go. It's the fastest in this patch.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Bit of a fight. Cooldown's been popped. There's going to be the snowball coming out from iceiceice, moving into the EHOME trying to turn this. They're looking to do so. The Glimpse, in fact, bringing CTY back. The global silence coming out as well to find iceiceice. Now they're going to look for CTY. He's out of mana. Super blinking forward. They're looking for the Storm. They should be able to get this one. With the right place, he's trying to do this one out. Will he? No, he's not going to live to this one. Oh, does he juke it out? Oh, he does. He lives. Super does move forward. Finds him with the blink forward. But EHOME, they're on his case. DDC, Lanham, and YJ are not happy. Moving forward. Oh, he stole the blink. But at the same time, Super is able to blink out to the north and we'll be able to escape. RTK. Oh, Super duking it out. Lovely. They're not quite going to find him. He gets himself back over to the secret shop of the Radiant and will be fine getting himself out of that one.
Under attack.
And VG lose 2, but they do find CT1 in the Storm. And all in all, just more space being created here for Hal, who's going to look for this tier 1 on the top lane, and he should be able to find it with Super backing him up from the sidelines. More money into the pocket there about
Radiant's top tower has
and he's really far ahead on experience of the enemy carry. That's another thing to keep in mind. Of course, we focus a lot on gold when we look at carries, but one of Anti-Mage's strengths as a carry too is how fast he levels up. It's just all those extra stats you get. He's already level 13. Level 11 is, relative to the time you get it, it's the longest level in Dota. It takes so long to get up to level 12. Anti-Mage is already 13, and that means those stats are going to start ticking in very, very quickly right now. You see, he needs 1,400 experience to reach level 14, whereas the Gyro currently needs 2,200 to reach level 12. It's a little bit weird like that, Dota. It was patched a long time ago to encourage or allow supports in particular to reach their level 1 and 2 ultimates earlier in the game, but the total experience to reach level 25 is still the same.
And this is good as well for Hal, of course. He's 1,500 gold at the moment. That's a few hundred away from the ultimate orb, and then he'll need a recipe bottom lane. FY getting caught out by RTK and Lanham. They're going to look for the disruptor. They'll be able to find him.
+2.
Not a hope for him to get himself out. DDC, what's it? It's on +8 at the moment as well. Not too bad. 18 minutes in for the support silencer. And we're moving forward. straight away on RTK with Super coming in as well. They should be able to find the Sand King. They'll burst him down. Super, of course, with the Orchid complete now as well. They're moving forward for more, looking for DDC. The damage is just a little bit too much. DDC's going to get healed up here by the end. Looks like Super's not going to continue to chase it. Top lane, it actually looks like EHOME. They've got eyes on the anti-mage. Moving in onto How. And they're going to drop the cooldown in the Zip. Can they get the electro? Oh, yes, with the global silence, they should be able to find this one. Moving on to How. They'll get him, and it's a good time to get him as well. He nearly had his Manta style complete. Every kill that they can get in with those silences before the Manta's out is going to be massive for the side of EHOME.
And this is what Merlini was talking about before the game. Because they have Silencer, they can play the Storm Spirit this way as if he has Orchid.
But Fenrir landed with the Stolen Link, moving forward, getting telekinesis over the Fable as well. YJ chasing down with the Rocket Barrage, now we're dead. Winter Wyvern, killing spree now for DDC, and more intelligence into his pocket, plus 10 now. That's looking pretty good here for the side of EHOME, bringing it to 10-8. Shutting down VG's early advantage. CTY's got to be careful though, zips himself out. Can't quite find the vision here for Glimpse. Super's going to continue to chase the CTY's totally out of mana here. If they can find the vision, they're trying to, oh, it's still just out of range of the Glimpse. And they get it, CTY's going to try and juke out into the trees. Oh, he's in so much trouble with the Orchid on him now. FY closing in, he gets the Glimpse to counter the TP. Static Storm's right down, and he'll just straight up deny himself there with the Bloodstone Suicide. No way that he gets himself out of that one.
That's really not what you want to happen. The moment you get your Bloodstone, you lose 3 charges. That really sucks. It's such a good farm item for the Storm Spirit to ramp it up, but already losing the mana region here. At the same time, How will of course feel a lot safer when Storm loses those charges and is a little bit more careful with his play because he doesn't want to lose even more of them.
Absolutely. How still closing in on that Manta Star. That's when he's going to feel pretty much entirely safe, unless EHOME commit a lot and get the chain stuns, the control out onto him. See how quickly he's edged that. Super, of course, with the pickoffs. The fact that he's now got 1,500 gold on top of the Orchid, he's going to be able to start working towards his next item. Just showing the farm here in the jungle between How and Super. Bottom lane, CTY. Just trying to build onwards from the Bloodstone, but as you said, down a few charges now. The ideal start. RTK, he's got the Ring of Regen, he's got enough money for the staff, so he's closing in on his 4 staff as well here. So pretty solid progressions here from both sides. And I mean, How isn't that far ahead of the Jar at the moment? 2k at the moment, 21 minutes here. It's not too drastic, but EHOME certainly need to continue to do something about this anti-mage problem that they're going to keep themselves in this game.
He's going to get his Manta now, as well as an Ancient stack. So this is when it's going to go even faster. He can start split pushing with the Manta if he wants, finding some extra creeps while he's jungling. At the same time, they've got to be feeling like there is something happening on the other side, but they would be too late for it. Already have YJ farming up his own Ancients here to try to keep up, but anti-mage should be increasing the gap a little bit here. Not too much though. He's playing cautious. He's scared that he is getting ganked, and looks like EHOME have got a little bit into his head with that last gank they pulled off. Of course, he is aware that should they jump him with both Sand King and Storm Spirit, they can maybe kill him on full health.
I'm just going to smoke up here the side of EHOME. See what they can go for. Pink's coming out in Roche, but there's no one in at the moment. Some good deep wards here, spawning out How. I mean, if they could catch out How, it's going to be pretty big. How revealing himself, and they'll get him in straight away. He's not going to get a chance to get off this Manta. Can they bring him before he gets it off? Yes, they will, just as he tries to get himself out.
He used it to split push and farm mid, and they catch him up at the same time.
They might find Fenrir here as well. Zipping on CTY, they'll get a second kill. EHOME might drop the static shot, the kinetic field. Solo coming out from Super now. Actually, first 1-2 down. Double kill in the Queen of Pain. And now it's Tusk. iceiceice coming in. They want to try and find more. CTY bringing iceiceice like CTY will escape. YJ tries to TP out. Is he going to be able to do so with the Warriors punch there from iceiceice? And VG finds them through the Glimpse. Oh, it was there just in time. They're going to be able to find more. Super moving in on to DDC with iceiceice again. Find and 4. VG getting it, taking the fight 4-2. Very nicely done.
That was incredible from FY and Super. They already lost their Wyvern and the anti-mage. It's effectively a 5-on-3, and they managed to set up the perfect kinetic field, static storm, sonic wave, scream combo, landing everything on 2 heroes. iceiceice then follows through, and they end up cleaning up an extra 2, being ahead in the fight, and of course also having the mech advantage that he didn't even need to use.
Didn't need it in the end because EHOME pulled down. iceiceice now level 11. He's doing very well here on the Tusk, and Super What's he got coming out on the courier here at the moment? It's okay, so he actually got for the BKB, so he's got the BKB now complete on this crop as well. It was very nice against the lineup that it has. Well, the silencer. And to be fair, there's a lot of magical damage coming out from EHOME, so this BKB is going to be pretty big here for the Queen.
It's the item in this game for Queen of Pain. Now, the thing is, of course, when it comes to global silence, if you pop BKB before, then it pierces. If you pop BKB after, then it purges. So the silencer can still counterplay super if he uses the BKB aggressively first. But still, during the BKB, do EHOME even have the physical damage to kill him off at the current point? It's not really that overwhelming.
BG just taking the Ancients, sticking together as a group. RJ moving in, he says, where's my Ancients gone? He's working towards his BKB Mithril Hammer, 750 gold towards the Ogre Club. Up to 2k now on your Storm Spirit. 13 to 12 at the moment, pretty close between these two sides, but I mean, you just look at the net worth, and it is the cause of VG that are breaking away. 1,000, sorry, onto the Anti-Mage and 11,000 on your Quap, leading against the 10k and the 9k of the Gyro and the Storm.
So now How is 4,000 ahead of the Gyro? Oh, he's going to go in on Yang. Putting a little bit of pressure on him up top, but he's just going to run away here.
And he's going to be working towards that Vlad's now as well with that headdress. 1,300 on top, so he's going to be having that fairly shortly. They smoke up, but it's all spotted out here by the side of EHOME with that deep ward, so should be unlikely that VG are able to catch EHOME out. Looks like they're rotating towards the top lane. Ping's coming out onto the Gyro. Would be nice to catch out YJ.
He still doesn't have the BKB, which is of course a key item against this dire lineup. They could be able to find a glimpse here.
There we go, they'll get a glimpse of YJ in a lot of trouble. RTK has come in to try and help, but he might be in trouble himself. Super, points the BKB, Sonic Wave there, very nicely off CTY. CTY bringing in iceiceice, but they've already lost the sacking as well, and How jumps in, but Bloodstone Deny will come out, forcing the Storm to kill himself, and again, VG jump in. And EHOME did not have an answer for that one at all. 3 heroes hit the deck, and they're going to lose the tier 2 here as well.
It
was almost it looked like EHOME was trying to bait them to jump the Gyro. The reaction from Sandy and the global silence, but they never got the epicenter off. He didn't even start channeling it. A little bit surprising there. He just blink stuns and runs away. End up effectively getting nothing. You know, when it looks like Rubik's spell steals nothing, he steals Snowball. I don't know why that's the case, but that's just how it is. It's the only spell I've seen that with. So.
iceiceice now got the Greaves complete.
That is really, really nice for him. He can purge global with these, and it'll allow him to, no matter what happens now, he can remove global, and then he can snowball the other teammates that are in trouble, just buying time for the global to expire. Might see a really big play out of him within the next 5 to 10 minutes with those Greaves, should that situation arise.
Super, they're going to go for Roshan, they're going to get it as well. Nothing that EHOME can do to stop it. This anti-mage looking very, very scary. It's going to be very hard for EHOME to bring him down. And they're going to smoke up straight away. It looks like they may be wanting to fight with this one. Moving into the Radiant jungle, EHOME are there. Just a question whether VG can find the jump. Just goes straight in with the BKB. The Archshot actually blocking Super. No! The Snowball picks him up, but the stolen Snowball dodges the stun. Nicely done, and now they'll bring forward onto Al. CTY going in as well. They get off the cooldown here. YJ might be able to turn this. They're found Super on the quad. They're looking for House. One gets on the mana point onto YJ. But RTK with the epicenter. iceiceice getting on the way. Being quite able to get him down. They do get him. They might find out as well. They've put the Aegis here. They do lose YJ here in the Static Storm, but are they going to go for round 2? Looks like they're on the retreat. They're terrified of How moving in RTK with the partnering. It catches on 3 of them. How these stuff goes to work. The cold embrace healing him up. Won't be able to fight for the time being, but now here we go. Back in, he's actually getting low down for telekinesis. The global silence. How? Oh, he mounts it off. Tries to blink out with the forest strike there from ROTK. CTY moving forward, trying to find F5. They'll get F5 as well as a double kill for the Storm Spirit. Trying to find Bever hit Lanham. Blinking down, looking for the Wyvern. Death from Spirit Leaf. Amra trying to juke out through the tree line. Oh, blink forward from Lanham. Can he find him? Yes, he can. He hasn't got the mana to do anything. Though. It's just going to be right click with the cold embrace. Holds Femra in place. But it's almost certainly going to be holding him place to his doom. And we're going to look at EHOME getting a T1. Triple kill for CTY. What a play there from the side.
That stolen Snowball might have just saved the game, because that fight could have gone horribly wrong for EHOME. And instead, Lanham turns it into a snowball fight, and they come out the victors of that one. Wow, that was
You can tell he's acting a little bit of a dance. He's absolutely ecstatic with that.
He's keeping up the APM and Fountain.
That was mad. Turning that around. I mean, still, they've got quite a way to climb in terms of catching up with that anti-mage, but if they can find fights like that, perfectly executed. VG are going to be a little bit worried when they're going for those kind of smokes aggressively into EHOME's jungle.
And you're seeing now the Anti-Mage identifies the problem here. He has to get a BKB in addition to his Manta. It's just, it's not enough having the Manta. He has like one break, but there's so many things that still threaten him. All the single target, like the Rubik's telekinesis, the stuns, the electric vortex from CTY. There's just too many problems. And once he has the BKB, there's no one who threatens him for now. The damage between Gyro and Storm should not be able to pierce his almost 20 armor. So we're probably going to see Vici slow down a little bit until he has that BKB. And then they could look for a Roche into fight maybe.
Well, let's see what the next plan of action here is from EHOME. Just looking to maybe try and take this tier 1 from the bottom lane. Lanham, C2I and RTK moving in. Fenris just here on his own at the moment, so not going to do too much. Pop the Spirit Bomb, taking a jumping onto Fenris straight away, bringing down the Wyvern. Very nicely done there from the side of EHOME. Now in the mid lane, how with the Manta Illusions, looking to find a tier 1 for the side of VG Gaming, and he'll get away with it as well. And he's just going to continue to push it. Looking to get some damage done onto the tier 2. They do find the tier 1 here on the bottom. CTY claiming that gold. Now with the TVs back, they're ready to defend here, EHOME. This is a very, very close game. 30 minutes in, 18-17, and CTY, we saw earlier on, losing those Bloodstone charges. Now he's back up to 11, and he's sitting on 4,900 gold sin.
He could one-shot an Orchid right now, if that's what he wants. It's 30 minutes, though, so I think that's not the item. He's going to get a BKB. I guess reasonable alternatives here would have been a Hex, which would have been a more aggressive approach to countering the AM. Even with BKB and Manta, you can still shut him down very nicely with the Storm Hex, but this is more of a defensive build. We'll deal very well with the Static Storm from Disruptor, we'll counter the Glimpse, we'll counter the Mana Void.
And the Orchid from Quap.
And the Orchid from Quap. There's a lot of value to this.
It's now going to be EHOME, moving into the Dire jungle. See if they can catch potentially How out. How at the moment towards the bottom. In fact, the whole team of VG is grouped up around the secret shop here. EHOME moving around. This lane's already kind of pushed in, so they won't be able to do too much here. Looks like they're just trying to regain just some control of the jungle, popping down this ward. And VG, we'll see what the players, what the next big move is from the side. As we're getting to that point of the game, a bit like in game 1, but where both teams are just being very, very careful not to get caught out. Here we've got How farming, but he's being backed up in the wings by his full team, so it's going to be very, very hard for each team to find a pick off without it turning into a full 5-on-5.
He's got a BKB now, though. This changes a lot. He might actually, as expected, try to just go for a fight immediately after picking that up, as they have a lot of momentum going in with a 10-second BKB, but no smoke available as it looks for either of them. Now it's just going to farm.
How's farm, of course, still miles away, and miles ahead, in fact, of YJ on this gyrocopter. 5,000 in difference here.
Yeah, almost 6, actually.
It's adding up indeed. I mean, Demon Edge is now done on YJ, and it looks like, what's that? I was just coming out, yeah, to the gyrocopter. Okay, so he's going to be working towards his MKB in anticipation of How's Butterfly.
The scary thing here for VG is if they take one bad team fight, I think the Anti-Mage's advantage will not be big enough, even if he finishes his entire inventory. I think EHOME have the counters available. So this next fight is really, really important for VG that if they get it, needs to be at least even trade.
How's got to be careful that RTK is ready there with the Blink and the Burrow Strike. Both teams very much ready to jump in. CTY getting the vision. Oh, you see How hit? Yes, he can. Send the telekinesis. How can he pull out? Get the BKB off. Yes, maybe they can. No. Get the BKB off. Will be able to blink himself away. They're just going to look for iceiceice here, but iceiceice gets off the snowball here. So Winter's going back in. Picking everyone up now with the Winter's Curse, holding YJ in place. Trying to bring down the gyrocopter on the way to double. Now he wants the BKB. Turns to super. Represents from RTK. He gets Fenrir there with the first strike. CTY coming in. Find the white, but will he be able to do it? Yes, he will. How though with the mana board on CTY. CTY will be silent. CTY stuck it. On the way to kill. The double kill on CTY. Finally, iceiceice with the snowball will find the kill on. Pays with his life. As the stolen one. The stolen snowball there. Moving it on to FY. Super's had to blink away. 3 heroes down on the side of VG. It may just be 4. FY to get the TP out. Won't make it. Double kill for YJ. And again, EHOME taking the fights perfectly. VG are always the ones to go aggressive here, but that's the second time in which we've seen EHOME take a huge advantage in the fight.
It is so crucial that CTY goes for that static remnant in the tree line and finds him there so they can set the fight on their terms.
Oh,
okay, that's...
there was a call there. Very nicely done. I mean, CTY.
Dire's top tower
that's
is under
pretty good.
attack.
That's pretty damn. At 3,400 gold. I mean, he's caught up with the Queen of Pain.
Dire's structures
Still just a few thousand behind the anti-mage, but CTY in the Storm. We're talking about it on the analyst panel, and he's certainly turning up in this fight and in this game.
We're looking at a 0-gold game.
Under attack.
5,000 experience for EHOME here, but it feels like EHOME are further ahead now, just because of the...
Dire's bottom
I feel like Vichi's lineup, in order to thrive at this point, kind of relies on being effective against the one of EHOME. So when it's just a draw, EHOME can just keep playing the way they've been playing so far, taking the good team fights, finding the farm in between. As long as Hal doesn't get incredible amounts of farm, they'll be all right. You see, he had the fastest Battle Fury we've seen in this version, with Treads and Poor Man's Shield. Now his farm is just, I want to say average for anti-mages this minute 34. Maybe slightly ahead, but not very much. Considering he had such an impressive start, EHOME have done a very good job at disallowing him from just turning this into the AM show.
Looking at the items coming out from the side of EHOME Storm, you can have that ultimate orb, so probably going to be looking for that Hex. And the MKB is now done on YJ's Gyrocopter, thanks to the money from those fights. So going to be even harder for VG to try and fight into the next. And as you said, it certainly feels like, even though the grass may not show it, are the edge with the edge at the moment. It's just Silencer picking up a Solar Crest. I mean, we're not going to be seeing an MKB or anything like that coming out anytime soon from the lineup of VG.
This is going to make the Gyro ridiculously hard for the Dire to kill. Anti-Mage does not have an MKB. He kind of doesn't want to go for one, I think, in this game. Sure, they've got a lot of burst damage with spells, but if YJ gets the BKB off and the Solar Crest, I actually think he's more or less immortal. EHOME,
they want to go for it. VG, of course, the ones to previously look for 2 fights. EHOME coming out on top. EHOME, they feel confident enough to now aggressively look for a fight themselves. ROTK moving, he's going to find FY here, jumping straight on. Telekinesis as well, FY. Going to be used up there, but they should be able to clean this one up. They'll get it. Global Silence has come out now for DDC, and now it's Super actually popping the BKB and looking for Lana, but Lana with the Glimmer Cape is going to be okay. So the way comes down CT1 yet, but it's just not that much of this time. But the Winters get down to YJ. And the Burrows go down for Onside down for 4. How Tusk doing counter turn this one? It's going to be a double kill from Super. CTY finds February though. The CTY, ROTK and DDC just about cleaning up here. ROTK looking for Epicenter, will find it. Can't quite close the gap. He's got the blink in a few seconds. No, the poison there, rendering him unable to look for the blink. But nonetheless, 3 for 2. They do lose YJ this time on the Gyro, but finding 3 in trade. And will be happy with that.
From Fenrir to get that Winter's Curse off, well, they would have been 5-0'd, I think, in that fight, or at least 4-0'd and forced away. How does get, or actually both of the kills that Vici get go onto Super. That means he has Scythe. He got a lot of money there. And for EHOME, who got the kills? We got 1 on Gyro and I think 2 on Storm. So now up to 12 Bloodstone charges. You see the now closing in on his own Hex. So they're going pretty much toe-to-toe. Look at the net worth of the Queen of Pain and the Storm. They've been very close pretty much all game. But Vici Gaming might get the bigger target here as they're looking
Hex
to
is actually on the quad now. So we've got another form of lockdown over the side of VG. Which is going to be very nice, especially they can jump in and catch out the Silencer before.
Oh, wait, Storm already has it too. I thought he was missing some more here, but okay.
Oh, VG get the Roshan. Want to get themselves out of the base there in time to contest it. Age is going the way of Hao here on this anti-mage. EHOME just pushing out the mid lane. CTY, 12 Bloodstone charges at the moment. Of course, worth noting as well that on DDC, he's stolen 32 intelligence so far this game, being involved in the majority of the fights that have gone down favoring the side of EHOME. And again, at this point of the game, VG actually making a movement here into the Radiant jungle. Not smoked up, just trying to secure some more farm here for Hao. Stealing the jungle camps here for themselves. Now, looks like they've got their eyes on this tier 2 on the bottom lane. They tried for it last time, and we did see EHOME come out on top of the team fight. Let's see if EHOME are able to do it again. Looks like CTY is just heading up to the top lane. The rest of the side of EHOME are there now. He's going to TP back. Okay, they want to try and fight. It looks like they may want to just run straight up to defend the tier 2 here. How? On the front lines. Fortification will come out. Why just actually be on top of the front team? How they want to take it out. He kept looking forward. But now, with the Winter's Guns to the YJ getting a look. Can they kill the Gyro? No! He's still alive here. YJ's going to turn around and start the fight. What fight? Go down there to Hao. Hao looking for RTK now as well. Outside's moving in here. Also, CTY moves in forward. They want to try and fight one. No, EHOME want to get themselves out. CTY low on mana. They want to stop the fight. It's not a good fight for them so far because VG were able to find YJ. They only lose FY here on the Disruptor. And off the back of that, VG Might even try and push up to the high ground here. Maybe try and force out the buyback here from Gyrocopter. And Hal just goes straight forward. CTY zips back. Agree with RTK finds the burn strike. CTY, TS will hold that. The telekinesis as well. Hal held in place. I think Glimmer will be able to get himself out of this one. He's a little bit too tanky for them to bring down without the right-click damage of Gyro. And VG in a pretty good position after that fight here on the bottom lane.
It turns out to be really important there that, first of all, Vici get a really good jump on the Gyro, and they do finally just barely bring it down in that situation. But Hal wanted to secure the kill, so he went for the Mana Void, but he went for it right after the BKB of the Gyro came out. And that means that being unavailable disallows Vici from really chasing that fight down. If he hadn't used the Mana Void, which ended up doing absolutely nothing in that fight, they could have maybe gone for a secondary, maybe even a tertiary kill via the Storm Spirit's low mana pool. But instead, they get a 1-for-1, they get the tower, and they do not lose anything here for Vici Gaming apart from their Disruptor. Still have the Aegis. This is a full Abyssal coming out now for Hal. This is going to make him able to kill Gyro so much faster, and it's going to allow him to be the initiator. Now they don't have to commit the Hex immediately.
This is going to put VG in a very good position. They want to fight straight away with it. Making their way straight into the jungle. Lanham looking for a D-ward. It might be his last one for a bit of time. His Hal comes in. Glimmer will be there. Oh, Lanham's able to get himself out of this one. Hal moving forward. Oh, he gets the blink off. He's out of there. CT1 sitting forward without the Witch's Curse holding in place. Hal's starting to go to work. The BKB was running close by CT1. The lose over it. Hal looking for the match. He's running out of money. No, CT1 doesn't slip away. Now one game coming in with the snowball from iceiceice moving forward with the Warriors putting down to one game. Hal with the right click of massive amount. One still trying to fight for this. The global silence has been popped. Hal just looking to chase this one down. RTK with the epicenter there. We go with the bonus strike. Holding Hal back. The glimpse is there. They're onto YJ. And he will lose his life. RTK silenced up. iceiceice trying to find the snowball. With the snowball will get it. Super's there. Hal as well with the Hex. RTK nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Hal gets himself a double kill. And that fight, indeed, they pick up the Abyssal, they go straight for the fight, and VG coming out on top. They'll look for the tier 2 here in the mid lane as well.
Yeah, they're absolutely going to be able to claim that. There is a buyback on Gyro and Sand King, and Vici might be able to force both of them by just committing on here. They should have the Guardian Greaves ready very soon here for iceiceice. 10 seconds on cooldown.
Radiant's middle tower
They just
has fallen.
go in here. Storm cannot hold this alone. He will have his Abyssal in a second. Whoa. Yeah, okay.
Okay, Hal. Well, he jumps straight onto DDC, looks for the back. Oh, Mana Void. That's a quick one-on-one there on how to kill a silencer. Down to 60 seconds, does have buyback. He will use it. Sampling RTK coming back as well. Joining off with the Gyro buyback. CTY goes straight in here onto FY. Spot the big game in the back. She's out there. Snowball from RTK. Oh, RTK actually coming in as well, but he's been hexed up. RTK gets glimpsed back there. Hal now moving in onto DC. He's got nowhere to go. The Glimmer Cave buying him some time. He's going to be able to slip in his magical damage. The magic resistance is just enough. God, can I believe that? YJ will find FY. Now CTY is EHOME again with this defense that they managed to pull out before, and they'll pull it out again. They also take down Femra, getting both FY and Femra, the support combo of VG, and the rest of VG just left to retreat. EHOME, they defend again.
It costs them a hell of a lot, but they do manage to hold their barracks. The tier 3 tower on 16 health. The Silencer surviving with about the same. That was a fight of absolute minimal differences that could have changed everything. One of them being Hal's Abyssal Blade. I think it was ready to be used on the Storm, but as he was about to use it, CTY zipped out, bought the time he needed to not get caught off guard. This is still an open game, but EHOME are starting to lose a lot of ground now. They were starting to get a lead. They've lost it, and they've lost a little bit more than that.
There's some big investments of them there, as you said, to hold the base. But they do hold the base. Tier 3 still standing in all 3 lanes, and racks remain as well. 30 to 25, EHOME with the kill advantage. But it's indeed a very close game. The fact, though, that VG Hao, he's the one that's stockpiling the gold. 24,000 on him at the moment. 3K now on top of that Abyssal Blade. I mean, what does he go for now? Obviously, the MKB's already been picked up. Does he avoid going for the butterfly and just straight go for a heart here?
I think maybe he goes for an MKB of his own.
Okay.
It's possible he feels like he's tanky enough right now. With both the BKB Manta and, of course, the Cold Embrace, which is always going to help him. They have Cold Embrace, Glimmer Cape, Guardian Greaves. Do they have a Force Staff? They do not have one on the Dire, because else that would have been like the perfect setup. And there's also no Crest, but I guess it's being worked on by Fenrir, who currently has a Chainmail. It's got quite a way to go, but might make it there eventually.
I mean, at this point of the game, we obviously saw VG trying to push down the mid. EHOME taking the better fight. Do VG have to wait for EHOME to come to them, or can they afford to try and look and jump in? And who does Anti-Mage need to be catching out here with the Abyssal Blade?
If he jumps on the Storm and gets him with the Abyssal as well as Manta, he's going to force a global silence. And then it's possible they can take the fight after that. Alternatively, if he jumps the silence is just flat out dead. Like, there's pretty much no way he's getting out of that one.
Couple of big items coming out here. Super's now picked up an AC on the quad. ROTK on his Sanky, he's got a Lotus Orb to help against these hexes, and Zip for CPY going to be getting popped as well. Lanham trying to help. Global Silence has come out here. Snowball comes out from iceiceice there, and they're able to find a kill onto Lanham. Howell trying to work his way onto the YJ at the back as well. Look at the Jaro here, but Shaw has been popped out. And Howell is actually looking for CTY here. There's no point ROTK to control the Anti-Mage. With the Winter's Curse after ROTK. Oh, iceiceice with a push on the YJ. CTY looking for Howell. Golden Grace is there though. Howell will live. The Bloodstone tonight comes out. Howell gets stunned up. Strike. iceiceice trying to help out. The snowball's there. He'll protect Howell. Moving it onto DDC here. Howell, the rest of the town has got himself out of it. They've found 3. EHOME just down to their last 2. DDC and YJ trying to do what they can. Howell moves into the Mana Void onto YJ. Everyone still there looking for DDC. Super. Favorite. As DDC can find it, they will. Also YJ is all on his own. Can he find something? He return the hexes there. No, he can't. Super with a double kill. As they take down the entirety of EHOME. CTY. Look at this here. Here he comes. Here he comes. Oh! Not quite long enough. Not quite long enough. He goes for the play.
Oh, he gets the courier. Maybe.
Oh, how? It's the play. No, he's going to get it. He's going to get it. He gets it. He kills Storm a second time. Mega kill streak for Howell. And so much money going the way of the Anti-Mage after that one.
Such a taste of courier, and he just doesn't. Oh my lord.
That was such a painful fight for EHOME to lose, and losing the Storm twice. I mean, his Bloodstone charges must be falling. You're down to 6 now. What a fight for VG.
Curious to see where AM goes with all of that money he just picked up. And what have we got on Queen of Pain? She got the Assault Cuirass and another 2,300 as we get a tower denied here from Lanham in the mid lane. Doesn't want to give VG that free gold. They could just keep going high ground. I'm a little bit surprised that Howell doesn't go and hit the tower a bit with his hero here until there's like, say, 5 seconds remaining, but he might be scared that the Storm will be able to find him randomly in the jungle with another YOLO jump. Just plays it safe. It's the timer on Roshan. He's actually up again. There's a double damage available as well. This would be a very fast takedown for
VG can get in there.
VG Gaming.
This is going to put them in a very, very good place. They've spotted it out. And I don't know if EHOME can get there in time. Are they? What are they doing here? They're just sticking around the base. They haven't smoked up. It looks like they will start to make some movements towards the pit, but this Roche is going to go down pretty damn quickly.
Let's see.
And looks like they should get it here. EHOME, they are making their way over, but it's too much damage. Age is going the way of the Anti-Mage. Quap will pick up the cheese. Do EHOME really want to fight into this one? Hanging around, smoked up in the jungle.
Howell just ate the Moon Shard, by the way. So that was his next item. The reason he bought it was that they got the Abyss. Else he would have gotten an item to take up that slot.
Revealing himself in lane here. OTK wants to fight, and they'll go for Super, but Super gets the BKB out here. Standing someone can only feel to come out. There's the Global Silence as well. There was the Hex on TK. How now with the Abyss in onto YJ going to the Chaos as well as well. Watching it with the Winter's Curse. Oh, he gets Lotus all back to Fenrir. Manifold comes out there. How far is it? And now they're looking for more. They want to find RTK. They should be able to find him. They will. Another kill for Howell. CTY zips away. TP's out. Will they be able to cancel it? No, they can't quite find the Storm. But 3 for 1 there. The reversed Winter's Curse there, costing Fenrir his life, but I don't think he'll mind the fact that they still come out on top. And Howell now looks to take himself a set of Raxi from the bottom lane. Tier 3's already been taken in the mid lane. BG could very well look for 2, and EHOME, they have 3 heroes down, none with buyback available here. It's not looking great for the side of EHOME, and maybe just saying they need something spectacular. This might be it. Hex on to Hammer. The Hex as well. CTY's dead. He can fight back. He can fight back, and he's going to need to potentially, if he wants any chance of holding on. Ruby's going to be back up in 10 seconds, but still Gyro and the Snanking down for 30. Fortification coming out. I don't know what EHOME can do now. They need a miracle, nothing less. DDC. Snowball's going to be coming in his way, but Super moving forward as well. The Gliss as well, bringing it back. The Snowball changes directions to DDC. DDC is going to go down. The Mega will go. He's going to live for a bit of time. iceiceice over with the Fractional Blade onto CTY. Mana Void. It's all over. It's got to be. They're looking for Lanham as well. for Hal. Foyer is on the deck. Jara is now back, but they're still lacking the storm. The silence of the river is GG. GG2 is then the move on. And EHOME go home.
7-0 in the main event. EHOME, I believe they came out of their group 5th, I think. They started in the lower bracket. They still have not lost a game here at the main event. They now secure top 4. Yeah.
I'm sure the analysts will tell